It is a beautiful day in Zamunda, and it's Friday. Thank God I'm fabulous, and you're fabulous. So, just wanted to say real quick, because it's really been on my mind, that when you start to state your intentions not just to yourself, but you make it known to others, then you give them the freedom to express their intentions with you. I know I've learned over the last couple of years that if I am upfront and honest about my intentions, what I want to do, this, that, and the third, then it doesn't leave any room for confusion. I believe it's always best to shoot straight from the hip because, in this world of social media, yeah, in this world of social media, a lot of things can be miscommunicated, misconstrued, and there's power behind, behind words. I hate when my notifications pop up when I'm talking. And it's like say what you mean and mean what you say. If there's something you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know. Just because we are adults, we're not going to always have all the answers. So it's okay to say that you don't know. Don't let your pride and your ego say, no, we got to say something because we don't want to have this person think that we're dumb or something. No, the person's not going to think you're dumb. The person's going to say, okay, well, they really don't know. You don't have to fake the funk. If you start out lying, then you got to tell a lie to cover another lie, then cover another lie. And then when the shit hits the fan, you done put yourself, you put yourself in a hole that not only do you got to get yourself out, but you have to use the assistance of God. We do have the thing called, free will, to each his own, and how you decide to decipher that, or, just some food for thought. But if you're going to do your intentions for yourself, your life, the type of love you want, the type of job you want, and have high expectations for yourself. Yeah, because if you have expectations for others, then you'll be disappointed every time. And it's definitely a lot to unlearn because we've been conditioned in such a way, from grandparents to parents to family to friends. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck in that people pleasing. Yeah, because that people pleasing can ruin a lot of different things, because that's like, it's like a smorgasbord of like your ego, your pride, a whole bunch of other shit that you didn't think of. Like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and throw this in there. But I did want to go back and state, if you're going to have high expectations for yourself, make sure they're realistic, because you can stress yourself out if you set an expectation so high that you're not going to be able to reach it. When you set your expectations, do them with mindfulness, what your spirit says, what your heart says, and then you'll find that things in your life will slowly start to progress in a very healthy kind of way. Because we all have toxic shit. We really do, whether we want to talk about it or not. And our own toxic shit, honestly, if you think about it, it comes in different ways in different situations. And then it's like, if you're not cognizant, of your own toxic ways and taking the necessary healing work to make it better, no matter if it's big or no matter if it's small, then it robs you of life. It robs you of opportunities. It robs you of rewards, including blessings. So know your own toxic shit. Handle that, because life ain't getting longer. It's getting shorter. And you can only self-isolate for so long until you realize eventually you got to come up for air. And those that are swimmers like myself, if you dive too deep and you don't have the proper gear on, it's like, okay, am I going to have enough oxygen to get from where I am back up? Like, are we going to have enough oxygen to get from where we how deeply we swam to get back up to top. Because the first thing you're going to want to do is that when you're swimming and it's especially if, like I said, if you like to swim like I do, I like to dive deep. I am a fish, as my mom and my family has told me, because I like to swim. Then you start to panic because you're like, oh shit, I'm running out of oxygen. I can see it right there. But you have to come to a certain level of calmness, especially when a situation comes up where you're running out of options because you put yourself in a hole. Then there's the only thing you can do is to go within. But if you go within and you go into hermit mode and stuff, don't stay there too long, because that can in turn can become another comfort zone. And most people know nothing grows in your comfort zone. Don't die in your comfort zone. And as it says, and I've said this plenty of times, before, and previous things that I've posted, that your dreams, don't leave this planet, this plane of existence empty. Most dreams die in the graveyard. Theoretically, hypothetically, conceptually, they do, because they're never realized. Don't do the what ifs. Do the I'm so glad I did that, because to live a life of little regrets is a blessing, because you can think back about the times that you had that were good, times that were bad, but it's like, what did you learn from it? Not a soul on this planet is perfect. No, ain't none of us perfect. Some of us fuck up every single day, and it's the fact that, like, some of us know that, God gives us grace, so we have to learn how to give grace to ourselves and forgive ourselves for our own misjudgments and stuff that we have done, and not to be so hard on ourselves, because as long as you're still living, you're still growing. The other thing that came up that this kind of been circling in my mind is being able to communicate effectively. You're not always going to know someone's love language or how they communicate, so it's always important to listen, hear, and comprehend, especially when they're talking, and also to be mindful about your communication. I applaud anyone that says, you know what, my issue is when someone says, communication is not my strongest forte. And you have to be understanding that everybody's not going to be able to communicate in the form and fashion that I do or we do. But to have some compassion about that and say, I understand that, communication is not your strongest thing. I get it. I understand it. But I can't fault anyone, and neither should you, depending on who you are, what you do, for somebody's lack of ability. If someone says, I'm going to work on it, I'd be like, okay. Give them your 100% support, whether it's your partner, your husband, or your friend. Just give them that support. Say, hey, I understand it. I get it. And as long as there's effort behind it, effort will always be attractive. Yep. I said it once and I'll say it again. Effort will always be attractive. Effort will always be respected. And effort is where you build more trust. And I'm not going to front, I ain't got to front for nobody. Those that know me in real life and stuff know that I shoot straight from the hip. I'm a bull after all. And loyalty and trust is very big with us. And it's like, if you lose that, that's it. It's so hard to get the trust and loyalty of a Taurus back, because it's very hard to change our minds. So it's like, mean what you say what you mean. And as I've reiterated so many times, my dad says, keep your word, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. And then he chuckles and says, he's like, if you can't keep your word, you ain't shit. Yep, those that know my father, he's He's a Cancer. And when he got something to say, he goes ahead and says it. Love that man. But it all goes back to being more, intentional living. It's like the relationship that you want is not going to come easy. You're going to have to do the work. Both parties. Because it's not fair to one person doing the work and the other one isn't. It's completely one-sided. And what that can do is create unnecessary karma. And that's a whole nother conversation. But just be intentional with your shit. I'm just saying, just be, real. People say, yeah, I'm the realest in the room and stuff until they meet somebody that challenges their way of thinking. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Challenges them. Like I stated, in a good way, not in an ego way, not in a pride kind of way. And that's where when somebody, if you challenge somebody in that sense and their response is a negative, that's a clear indication. No, homie, I'm going to give you some time and space. You got some healing to do. You got some shadow work to do. And they may not even realize it until you're completely out of the picture. That's what it boils down to. It's about having that, self-awareness and checking in on yourself. Because the relationship that you have with yourself, how you love yourself, how you deal with your shit when you are not feeling 100 thou wow, speaks a lot, and it sets the standards for other relationships that you will have, whether it be, friendships or real relationships. I find that a lot of people become so complacent in terms of where they are, that the moment that someone comes of a higher vibration to challenge them in a good way, stimulate their mind by just communicating, they take it as, okay, this person trying to make me feel dumb, or this person trying to one up me and stuff like this. Nah, that's never the intention behind that. If you want to grow, I mean really grow, my cousin, the late Rabbi Curtis G. Caldwell, would say, be open and receptive. And that rings clearly in my mind, because the more open that I stay, the more I'm able to be more receptive to the things that are, good for me. Everybody is a book. They have chapters. There may be something in your book that I can learn from. And if you keep yourself open in that realm of, okay, I'm meeting somebody new, it's a new adventure, what can I learn from them? What is it? And have the willpower and the patience and the know-how to be that open and receptive to learn more, because ain't none of us fucking experts. None of us are experts on life, and we are all just walking each other home. But would you rather have your walk be more, pleasant, or a walk that's just got hell just written all over it? As my mom says, your perception is your reality. And it's like, choose ye this day. Do you want to walk a peaceful path, or one that's got a whole bunch of shit? So, I said a lot, but it all boils down to this. Communicate. If the person tells you, I'm open to hear what you have to say, and they give you that judgment-free zone, vibes, energy and stuff, then you have to trust yourself enough. I said nut, Lord. And your gut to know, okay, everything's telling me it's a go. And then your ego goes, wham! Don't you say nothing now. F your ego. F your pride. Because your ego is not your damn amigo. It really is. And I say this all the time. Everybody has to have a safe place. Everybody, whether it's a person or a journal, because you can't vent to everybody. I use my journal. And those within my inner circle. But I don't vent like most folks. I tend to journal, which is the most healthiest thing to do. And I've been doing that for years, since I was a teenager, since, my therapist suggested it. But be intentional with your shit. If you want love, love wants you too. But you can't associate past hurt and love and bring it into the future. It's robbing you of your present moment. Take the leap of faith. Just make sure you take the first step. You're not doing it by yourself. Don't ever think that when somebody takes a leap of faith, when it comes to friendships or relationships, that they're taking that leap of faith alone. Nah, the other person's doing the same thing too. You got to look at the whole collective of it at the end of the day. So have a great day on purpose and your purpose. Be happy on purpose. Have fun on purpose. And be good to others, because it doesn't cost anything to be kind. It doesn't cost anything to smile. And just overall, be a nice human being. Don't be most jackasses that we run into every day. Be the exception. Have a good one. Peace.